Welcome to the world of Monstera Deliciosa. If you're a plant lover or just getting started, this video is for you. Did you know that houseplants, like the Monstera, can improve air quality by up to 25%? That's right, plants don't just look beautiful, they actually make your home healthier. And the Monstera Deliciosa isn't just any houseplant, it's one of the most iconic, with its large, split leaves making it a favorite in homes around the world. But here's the thing, while this plant can be fairly low maintenance, getting it to thrive requires knowing a few key tips. Stick around, and I'll guide you through exactly how to care for your Monstera so it can reach its full, stunning potential. Ready to turn your home into a lush, tropical oasis? Let's dive in. Understanding the Monstera Deliciosa. Before we dive into the practical aspects of care, let's take a moment to understand this fascinating plant. The Monstera Deliciosa belongs to the Araceae family, the same group as the philodendron and peace lily. It's known for its large, glossy leaves with characteristic splits or fenestrations, the term used to describe the holes or splits in the leaves. In its natural environment, Monstera uses these fenestrations to maximize sunlight exposure while still being resistant to damage from wind and rain. As a climber, the Monstera uses aerial roots to attach itself to trees and other structures in the wild, allowing it to grow tall and spread its leaves to capture more sunlight. In your home, it will need support to mimic this behavior. 1. Choosing the right location. Light requirements. Monstera Deliciosa thrives in bright, indirect light. This means it needs a spot where it receives plenty of natural sunlight but is not directly exposed to harsh rays, which can scorch its leaves. A spot near an east or west-facing window is ideal. In its native habitat, the plant grows beneath the canopy of trees, so it's used to dappled light. If your Monstera isn't getting enough light, you'll notice slower growth and fewer fenestrations. Conversely, too much direct light will cause the leaves to develop brown edges or patches. If natural light is limited in your home, consider using grow lights to provide supplemental lighting. Aim for 12 to 14 hours of light per day during the growing seasons, spring and summer. Temperature and humidity. As a tropical plant, Monstera Deliciosa prefers warm temperatures and higher humidity levels. The ideal temperature range is between 65 degrees Fahrenheit and 85 degrees Fahrenheit, 18 degrees Celsius to 29 degrees Celsius. This plant is sensitive to cold drafts, so avoid placing it near windows or doors that may let in cold air during winter months. Humidity is another important factor. While Monstera can tolerate average household humidity around 40 to 50%, it will thrive in higher humidity levels, typically around 60 to 70%. If you live in a dry climate or notice the leaf edges becoming crispy, consider using a humidifier or placing a tray of water near the plant to boost humidity. 2. Watering your Monstera Deliciosa. Watering is a crucial part of plant care, and understanding how to water your Monstera correctly can make the difference between healthy growth and root rot. Monstera prefers to be kept in evenly moist soil, but does not tolerate being waterlogged. How often to water? The frequency of watering will depend on the season, temperature, and humidity levels in your home. Generally, you should water your Monstera when the top 2 to 3 inches of soil feel dry to the touch. During the growing season, spring and summer, this may be once a week, while in the dormant season, fall and winter, watering may be reduced to every 2 to 3 weeks. A common mistake many new plant owners make is overwatering, which can lead to root rot. Ensure your pot has proper drainage and never let your Monstera sit in standing water. A simple rule of thumb: if the leaves start to droop, your plant is thirsty, But if they turn yellow, you're likely overwatering. Watering technique. When watering, it's essential to water thoroughly, ensuring the water reaches the root zone. Use room temperature water to avoid shocking the roots, and pour water slowly until it drains out of the bottom of the pot. This ensures even moisture distribution and encourages the roots to grow deeply. 3. Soil and potting. Choosing the right soil. Monstera Deliciosa prefers a well-draining potting mix that retains moisture without becoming waterlogged. A combination of standard potting soil mixed with perlite and orchid bark works well. The perlite improves aeration, while the orchid bark adds texture and allows for proper drainage. Another option is using aroid-specific soil, which is designed for plants like Monstera, philodendrons, and anthuriums. These soils are typically looser, allowing the plant's aerial roots to move freely. Repotting your Monstera. Monstera is a fast-growing plant, and it may need repotting every 1 to 2 years. Signs that your Monstera needs to be repotted include roots growing out of the drainage holes, slowed growth, or the plant becoming top-heavy. When repotting, choose a pot that is 2 to 3 inches larger in diameter than the current one. This gives the roots room to grow without overwhelming the plant with too much soil. Spring is the best time to repot, as the plant will be in its active growing phase. 4. Fertilizing for optimal growth. Monstera Deliciosa benefits from regular feeding during the growing season. A balanced, water-soluble fertilizer with an un-pK nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium ratio of 20 to 20 to 20 or 10 to 10 to 10 is ideal. Nitrogen encourages leaf growth, phosphorus supports root development, and potassium promotes overall plant health. How often to fertilize? During the growing season, spring and summer, fertilize your Monstera every 4 to 6 weeks. However, it's essential not to over-fertilize, as this can lead to salt buildup in the soil, which can burn the roots. Always dilute your fertilizer to half the recommended strength. In the fall and winter, when the plant's growth slows down, you can reduce or even stop fertilizing altogether. 5. Pruning and training your Monstera. Monstera Deliciosa is a vining plant, and it can grow quite large if left unchecked. Regular pruning helps control its size and encourages bushier growth. How to prune. When pruning, use sharp, clean scissors or pruning shears to remove dead or yellowing leaves. If your Monstera is getting too large, you can trim back some of the larger leaves to manage its size. Always make cuts just above a node, the point where a leaf attaches to the stem, to encourage new growth. Training your Monstera. Since Monstera is a climbing plant, providing support will help it grow upwards. You can use a moss pole or trellis for this purpose. Over time, the plant's aerial roots will latch onto the support, allowing it to climb and mimic its natural growth pattern. Gently tie the stems to the support using soft plant ties, and as the plant grows, continue training it to climb. 6. Pest control. Monstera Deliciosa is generally a hardy plant, but it can occasionally fall victim to common houseplant pests such as spider mites, mealybugs, and scale. Common pests and solutions. Spider mites. These tiny pests can cause yellow spots on leaves. They thrive in dry conditions, so increasing humidity can help prevent infestations. Treat with insecticidal soap or neem oil if you notice an infestation. Mealybugs. These cotton-like insects cluster around the stems and leaves. Use a cotton swab dipped in rubbing alcohol to remove them, or apply neem oil to deter them. Scale. Scale insects appear as small brown bumps on the leaves or stems. Remove them manually with a cloth or toothbrush and treat the plant with insecticidal soap. Preventative measures. To prevent pests, inspect your Monstera regularly, especially if you have multiple houseplants. Isolate any new plants for a couple of weeks before introducing them to your collection, and wipe down the leaves periodically with a damp cloth to remove dust and discourage pests from settling in. 7. Propagating Monstera Deliciosa. Monstera Deliciosa is one of the easiest houseplants to propagate. Propagation allows you to create new plants from cuttings, which can be a fun way to expand your collection or share with friends. How to propagate. 1. Choose a healthy cutting. Select a stem that has at least one leaf and one aerial root, a small brown or white nub near the node. 2. Make the cut. Using clean scissors, cut just below the node, ensuring that the aerial root is included. 3. Rooting in water. Place the cutting in a jar of water, ensuring the node and aerial root are submerged. Place the jar in a bright, indirect light location. Change the water every week to keep it fresh. 4. Transplanting to soil. Once roots are 2 to 4 inches long, you can transfer the cutting to soil. Plant it in a well-draining potting mix and keep it moist for the first few weeks to encourage root establishment. I personally love taking care of my Monstera Deliciosa. There is something so satisfying about watching those gorgeous, fenestrated leaves unfurl. Fun fact, in the wild, a Monstera can grow leaves up to 3 feet wide. Can you imagine having that inside your home? But even if your plant doesn't grow quite that large, the joy of seeing it thrive is unbeatable. Now, I'd love to hear about your experience with Monstera. Have you had success getting those signature splits in the leaves? Or maybe you're just starting out and have some questions? Share your story in the comments below. I'm excited to read all about it. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future plant care tips. Let's grow together, both in our knowledge and in our love for plants. Happy growing!